Welcome to Boss Up. Get ready to elevate your game with your dynamic hosts. First up, we have the visionary powerhouse, Dan D. Johnson, who's a failure transformation expert and a financial literacy and business coach with a wealth of knowledge to help you scale and grow. And joining him is the inspiring and charismatic Shada Amour, your corporate expert and life coach, ready to share insights on leveling up your life and relationships. Together, they'll guide you on a journey to unleash your potential and boss up. Now, welcome Shada Amour and Dan D. Johnson.
Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. We are coming on Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Where the tacos at? You know you gotta have tacos on Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday.
¿Qué lo que pasa aquí, ah?
You know, really, this is not it. Not it. It is Tuesday. It is not. It is Taco Tuesday. But yes, we not gonna. You know,
we can't speak in Spanish.
We cannot, unless we actually can speak in Spanish. What does that mean? What does that mean?
It is my pleasure to meet you.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Yes.
All right, we are excited to be here. We are talking about what tonight? This is gonna get a little risque, I think.
Can she be cussing?
No, not at all.
She be cussing. Y'all know who this is, right?
I am
this Shada Amour, and look at her hair. You got different colors in it. You know people that wear different color hair, you know that they be cussing.
Not at all.
She be cussing.
Not ever. Okay, we not cussing tonight.
Oh, you're not gonna cuss tonight. You see what she just said? Thank you. Long as you was honest. See?
We not cussing.
Guess where she at, y'all? She got on her chartered plane and came all the way to Chicago.
I wish it was a
so we are in Chicago. And we sitting right here together. She just wanted to be close. You know, she didn't want us to be on different screens since she's in the city. Right. And so I said, okay, I'll oblige.
Okay. So what do we one, Dan Johnson.
Hey, Miss
financial expert, multi
ADHD.
No. CEO, like he has multiple businesses. So when we talk about money, he knows about money. We are talking about the 4 F words of poverty. The 4
F words.
F words.
You know I'm saved.
Poverty. Yeah.
I'm not gonna be cussing, dropping no F bombs up in here. You know I don't do that in public.
Really? You don't do that in public. Okay, let's not do that at all.
But
I'm excited to talk about
You
this.
never dropped the F bomb before.
In high school. Only in high school. Okay.
Not.
Okay, so let's get into it. What are the 4 F words? What is the first one?
Well, when I was in high school and we talked about the 4 F words, well, I told you I can't say that.
Yes, the 4 F words of poverty.
So what is poverty though?
What is poverty? Oh,
you tell the people.
Give me that definition of poverty.
My definition may be different than your definition. I want you to Google it.
Poverty. Let me look it up.
Yeah, Google it. I want you to Google.
What does Google say poverty?
Yo, we about to talk about what poverty is. We're going to talk about it. And some people are like, man, you know what poverty is? It's being broke. No, that's not necessarily what poverty is.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
This is good. It says poverty is the state of one who lacks a usual or socially acceptable amount of money or material possession.
Whoa.
So the state of one who lacks a usual or socially acceptable amount of money.
I don't like that definition.
Okay.
You know why I don't like it? Let's evaluate Google.
All right, let me see another one.
Okay, give me another one.
The state of being extremely poor.
Well, what is extremely poor?
It's not having enough money.
Okay, so not having enough money to do what?
What you want to do.
Well, I think that's not true.
Poverty is not having enough money to like provide the basics in life. That's what I think poverty is.
And the challenge that I have with that definition is that it's saying that poverty is a person that lack the amount of resources that is usually acceptable by society. So that means what society deems as being poor or rich,
right,
is what defines that. And the problem is, I think many
what
people.
is the problem with that?
I'll tell you what the problem with that is. You know why so many people walk around with Uchi?
Gucci,
Them two.
Gucci, yes.
You know why they walk around with Uwe
Why?
or Louis?
Louis.
Because society says that you have not achieved a certain status if you didn't have it. People trying to keep up with the Joneses. And when you try to keep up with the Joneses,
Who are the Joneses?
the Joneses are the people that's in a position that you're not in,
Okay.
but you're trying to keep up with them. And when you try to keep up with the Joneses, sometimes keeping up with the Joneses leads you to poverty.
Or sometimes the Joneses are in poverty.
That too. I'm just saying.
Like they might have Louis, they might have Gucci.
But we don't know. That came from that stimulus check. That's why they voted for Trump. They thought he was going to give them another stimulus check. He ain't giving y'all another stimulus check. I'm trying to tell you now. There was one COVID a lifetime.
Oh,
one COVID a lifetime.
Okay, so let's get into the first, because the first F.
Wait, you got stats. Why you rushing through it? They got to understand, because people measure their value based on what society says.
But I think when they're talking about this, it says, when they're saying poverty here, it says an income that is below, let's see, which I think this is probably poverty. Okay, in here it says, how much is it? Well, first it says that there are 11.6% of people in poverty.
Which means 11.6% means what? What does that mean when they're in poverty?
Let's see what it says. It doesn't give me the amount on this one. Let's see, not in that one.
So bottom line is, let's look at it this way. If the average household of four,
they're surviving on less than $2.15 per day, is what it says. That's what it's defined as.
Less than $2.15
per day.
Per day.
Per day.
So nearly 9% of the world's population. So that's the world.
Poverty.
So what about America? Because America, you can't do nothing with $2.50 a day.
Woo! $2.50 a day.
That's what's happening over in Africa.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's why I keep going to help the people.
Okay. Let's see. It's not telling me the United States. So
but don't worry about it.
Let's just get past that.
But the bottom line is, in the United States, typically, if you're in a household of four and you're making about $50,000 or less of combined household, of combined income, you're considered to be in poverty. Because when you look at how much it costs to live in the United States of America on a daily basis, you cannot really live off of that and have a certain quality of life.
Yeah.
Right? When you talk about housing, when you talk about transportation, when you talk about childcare, when you talk about all the other things, food costs, all of those things, that's considered poverty. But before poverty has anything to do with what's in your bank account, here's another perspective. Poverty actually starts in your mind.
Okay.
Poverty is a
mind.
I'm going to tell you because I knew you asked. Poverty is more of a mindset, first and foremost.
It's not about the amount of money you have.
It's what you do with that money that you have. It's how you manage the money that you have. Okay. Wealth is a mindset. So you could be a person that got a JOB, just over broke, but have a wealthy mindset.
Just over broke?
Come on, most jobs you just over broke.
Oh boy.
Have I lied to you?
Yes, I think you're lying.
Okay.
Well, I mean, because I think that
you don't look at your W-2.
No, but I just think that when we talk about just over broke, when you have a job, like there are lots of people who have a job and they make good money. It's the choices they make determines whether or not they're broke.
I agree, but that's my point to you.
Right.
My point is the choices they make whenever you make a choice, you make a choice first and foremost with your what?
Your mind.
Your mind.
Right.
So if you're making bad choices that's putting you in this cycle of poverty, right?
Right.
Meaning that you don't have a savings account, you don't have an emergency fund, you're living from paycheck to Monday. Before you look up, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Paycheck to Monday.
Right. That means you got paid on Friday, Monday you broke.
Okay.
Or you got paid on Friday, Monday you at the cash advance place.
Okay.
Or you got paid on Friday, and when your check went into the bank, it absorbed all of the NSF fees and all of that stuff as a result of the account being in the negative.
Right.
$54 billion on an annual basis of NSF fees. Wait a minute.
Crazy.
So when you start thinking about these type of things, when you start thinking about these things, this is what poverty is. Have you ever heard the term of people living beyond their means?
Yes.
So what does that mean?
That means that you buy more stuff than you can afford.
You buy more than you can afford. And most times
spend more than you can afford.
You spend more than you can afford. And most times when you spend more than you can afford, you're using what?
Credit.
And then what happens? You get bad what?
A credit.
You get bad credit and you go into credit card what? Debt. And so as a result, it's a never-ending cycle, right?
Right.
And so this is why I think we're talking about the 4 F words of poverty.
Okay.
So remember last week I told you I was going to meet my financial advisor, right?
Yep.
And today, because we're looking at every year, when we gave the top 5 things you should do towards the end of the year with your money.
With your financial
and one
advisor.
of the things I said was meet with your financial advisor.
Yeah.
I don't just tell y'all stuff that I don't do. So I went and met with my financial advisor to look at the picture of where we're going based on where we are.
Right.
My portfolio is up almost 70%.
Oh, yeah. Stop that.
It's up 70%. Look at God. But at any rate, one of the things we talked about is risk levels, risk comfort levels. And the reason we was talking about risk comfort levels because he was trying to measure my fear level.
Okay, so the first word.
So one of the first F words of poverty is fear.
Fear.
It's fear. Well, how's that an F word? How's that? Because most times people get something, they hold on to it, they put it in the shoebox, they don't spend it, they don't invest it because they're afraid to lose it. Right. I told him, he said on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is you are ultra conservative and you scared to lose. 10 is you're not scared to lose at all. You're willing to risk it all. Okay. I said, put me at 11.
No, I'm not there.
And he said 11. I said, put me at 11. He said, why 11? I said 11. I said, look at what your average. We looked at the average investment portfolio. The average investment portfolio that's doing well is about 10%. On an average end. On the high end is somewhere between 15 and 18%. That's the extreme risk.
Right. That's
how well their stock is, their portfolio is performing. I'm at 70%. And when we looked at the stock that I chose, it's because I'm not afraid to take the risk.
Yeah. But
as a result, you get the gain. So one of the F words of poverty, as found in the book of Matthew, is biblical.
Yeah.
When the master came, he gave them talents. He gave the one man talent. He gave another 2 talents, another 5 talents.
Right.
The one that he gave the 1 talent with, guess what he did? He buried it.
Yeah.
He did nothing with it.
Because he was afraid.
Yeah. When you are afraid to take the risk, you'll never buy the house. You'll never start the business. You'll never buy a piece of property. You'll never invest in property. You'll never invest in the market. Why? Because you are afraid. And scared money is dead money.
I agree with that. But I think it's okay that people are at different risk level.
That's okay.
That's okay. It's just being willing to take a risk. If you never take a risk, you will just live with your money under your mattress.
And your money can't live.
You want to know why? Losing money.
Because right now in the world, from a secular perspective, we call it a risk. But biblically, we call it faith. And how does the just live?
by
just
faith.
live by faith.
Exactly.
So if your money is afraid, if you're afraid to take a risk with your money is dead. It's not living. It's not growing. Because anything that lives grows. Oh, this is good stuff. And if anything that lives grows. So if your money is not growing, it's not living.
Right.
And it's not living because you buried it.
Right.
You already committed it to its own grave without the ability to grow.
And I think
and it perpetuates poverty in your life.
A part of that is we have more faith in shopping and spending the money than we do in investing the money.
Yeah, but because society said we had to look a certain way.
Well, true. Which that does lead to one of your other ones.
What? Foolishness.
Foolishness.
Now you talk about foolishness because you that girl, you like give me that. Oh my God.
Well, okay. So when we talk about foolishness, for example, there are times when some of us, not saying I've ever done this before, probably have, when it's just like, oh, I have to go on vacation. Everyone's going on vacation. So I'm going to spend my money on vacation. And I have heard people say, my credit card is maxed out. I can't pay my bills, but I am going to Mexico. I am going to Jamaica. It doesn't matter. I deserve it. I work hard.
Work hard, play hard.
Vacation.
Work hard, play hard.
Right.
And then you become a slave.
Foolishness.
That's foolishness. And let me tell you why it's foolishness. Because you really don't count up the whole cost.
Definitely.
You figure in, all inclusive, $2,000, $3,000. That's what you pay. Right. But no, you can't just go on vacation.
You gotta get new clothes.
You gotta have 12 swimsuits. 12 swim. Why do y'all do that? I saw this. 12 swimsuits. It's a thing.
But I did see this reel that was so funny to me, and it said, "Why do we buy new clothes to go on vacation to see people who have never even seen what we had?"
You know why? One word: foolishness. It's foolishness. It's foolishness. It's foolishness when you are late on your current car note. That's $347, and then you go buy a new car, and it's $600. What is that called? Foolishness. It's foolish when you can't afford to pay the car insurance on the car that you are about to buy, and you buy it anyway without and you don't pay. People go get liability, you girl. Don't you know? It's liability. They go get liability because they're liability.
Okay, so yes, that is foolishness.
That's foolishness. And that foolishness really is one of the cuss words of poverty.
Okay, so we got fear.
We got fear. We got foolishness. Foolish, just making bad decisions.
Okay, don't walk in fear.
Don't walk in foolishness. Stop it.
Don't be a fool.
Here it is. You go to the bar. You go to the bar.
You go to the bar?
I said you go to the bar. What the hell? Yes, I go to the bar. Yes, I'm at the bar. Family own a whole bar. I'm about to buy a bar. I'm sorry. We go to the bar. You go to the bar.
You're going to have people tearing up this. What?
What?
Okay, someone might go to a bar.
So you rather me say someone might go to the bar?
Yes, someone.
Okay.
Not
you know they go to the bar. Deacon, what you call it over there? It's a bar right now. Okay, no, I'm just playing. But think about it. You go to the bar. I was in a meeting yesterday. And we're sitting. It was crowded in the restaurant, so it was lunchtime. So we sat at the bar so we could get a seat.
Okay. And
while we're sitting at the bar, we're having our business meeting. We're having our food, and the person next to us was just ordering drinks. Okay. They ordered
drinks are expensive.
They ordered an appetizer, and then they ordered drinks.
Okay.
And he was by himself, and he was just going in. And I said, "Man, can I hold down a couple?" And I said, "Man, you drinking them drinks like you got a few dollars on you." I harass people. I said,
"Yes, you do."
He said, "Man, no, man, I'm just on my lunch break." So first of all, you're drinking. That's foolishness. You're drinking drinks and you're on your lunch break. But it gets worse. So when the bill comes, he gets upset.
Oh, because he felt like his bill was too high?
Because every drink he ordered was $13 or more, and the Negro ordered 4 drinks.
Oh, my goodness.
His meal was $19.
Wow.
His drinks was like 50 something dollars. His bill was 70 something dollars. That's what people do. That's called foolishness.
Foolishness.
We got to listen, we got to become more fiscally responsible. And this is why I always say, if you don't tell your money where to go, it will go wherever your impulse leads it.
So
And so the only way you can tell your money where to go, everybody, is by establishing a budget. This is how much money I got coming in. This is how much money that's going out. That has to go out. These are the essential expenses. So there's two types of expenses that should be on your budget.
okay.
Your essential expenses and your non-essential
You
expenses.
want what you want.
It's what you want, your needs and what you want.
Right.
And so your priority is what you need. You must have it to live with. So listen, I'm not saying don't go out. And if your thing is going out to the bar, go out, just don't get drunk, but have a limit
Right.
as to how much you're going to spend on a monthly basis.
And make sure it's a part of your, I call it a spending plan. You decide what you are going to spend
yes.
your money on.
Now, see, bougie people. So there's three kinds. There's a couple of different ways to look at budgets. People from the block like me, it's called a budget. That's now it's levels to it because I've grown from just a budget, right? Them people that got a lot of money, they call it a financial forecast.
Yes, that is
Financial
forecast. I love that.
Then
Right.
people like her that's right next door to the financial forecast, it's a spending plan.
Spending plan.
It's a spending. Now, you know what I call it?
What?
Financial prioritization.
Okay. Well, that's good.
You know, how
set
am
your
I-
priorities.
What is my priorities? It's financial prioritization.
Got it.
And so my priority sometimes is, it used to be sometime I couldn't go get a haircut.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So what did I do? It's me and three boys.
You learned how to cut hair.
Man, we were spending literally, because I got to go every 4 days. Then they was going, we would spend almost $300, $350
That's
a month. A month. So you know what I did? I said everybody had bad hair days for a month. I saved the money. I went and invested in clippers. I went to my barber, told him, show me a few tips. He showed me a few tips. I got on YouTube, learned a few other tips. And then I was the only one getting my hair cut at the barber, and I was cutting everybody else's hair.
Nice. So
That's prioritizing. That's managing your, we're going to use her word because it's so cute. Managing your spending plan.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So fear is number one. Foolishness is number two. What's another F word of poverty?
Frustration.
Frustration.
Yes.
Explain, talk to me.
I see so many people who they get frustrated. It's just kind of like you get frustrated, you're on a diet, and then something happens, you get stressed, and you just say, forget it. I'm frustrated.
You
I'm
almost
eating.
said the other word.
No, I didn't.
No, yeah, I saw it.
It's the same way our spending. It's we make a commitment to follow our spending plan. We make a commitment to invest. And then maybe there's a bill that comes that maybe we forgot about.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay, well, forget it. I'm
And we get
just
frustrated.
and we get
Can
frustrated.
anybody relate to that? And you may be able to relate. If you can relate to it, just say yes, I can relate. I get frustrated, and you just say,
Just blow the
forget
whole budget.
you just say, she thought of one word and then she said, forget it. And so, and I can understand that, especially when you equate it to Krispy Kreme. I mean, especially,
This is what we are.
see, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak. Because I'm working on trying to get this old slam jam, right? And get the old fat belly down, a dimple out the thighs, junk out the chunk, the jelly out the belly, right? So I'm working on this. And there'll be moments where I just get frustrated.
Yeah.
Frustrated with salad, frustrated with kale, frustrated with juicing,
Yep.
frustrated with people. And then you know what I do? I say, forget it.
Forget it.
I go get me a bag of a box of Krispy Kremes and eat them like donuts. I eat them like popcorn. Boom, 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 boom. Then before you know it, guess what? Watch this.
What?
I see the belly again.
So you're like,
The
"Where
weight
is it?"
gains again. And guess
Right.
guess what happened? I get frustrated.
Yep.
Aren't you frustrated with being frustrated with your own frustration?
Yes. Yes.
So, but the frustration is not going to go anywhere.
Or you say like, I'm not going to use my credit card.
And then you use Apple Pay. Stop playing. Stop playing. You know what? Discipline need help. Dan said discipline need help. I'm going to take my credit card out. I'm going to put it in the safe. Y'all Negro ain't got safe. I'm going to put it in between the mattress and the little hole. And I ain't going to use it no more. And then you get to where you're going. I'll accept Apple Pay. Then there go the credit card.
Connected to the Apple Pay.
Connected to the Apple Pay. All we're trying to do is help you. Listen, don't get frustrated with the process.
Yeah.
Esteem the process.
Stay in the
Don't get frustrated with saying you're paying off your bills, you're doing all these things, and your credit still look funny. Just stick with it. Stay with it.
Yes.
One day you'll wake up overnight and it'll look like you became successful. But there really is no there is no overnight success.
It's not. It's
You've been building. You've been doing it. But when you do the right thing consistent enough, long enough, it will eventually be enough.
Yes.
But what's another cuss word?
What is it?
Fantasy.
Fantasy. Wait a minute. What is that F word?
What is fantasy?
Baby, I dream of having this big house, but my income doesn't match that fantasy. Or I've always wanted to have this Lexus truck. That's my fantasy.
That's really not her fantasy. Heck, she can buy Lexus.
See, I
got to sit up. So when you really start looking at
what is a fantasy?
When you start looking at fantasy, fantasy takes you out of this thing called reality.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we live our lives based on what we want it to be, opposed to what it really is.
Okay.
And so we start driving everything. Think about what you just did. Everything you just named was based on a presentation.
Right.
It was based on a look. It was based on a status.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times our fantasy that we're seeking to fulfill is a status. It's a look.
Right.
So the car we're driving is really a fantasy because we really can't afford to drive it. The house we're living in is a fantasy because we really can't afford to live in it.
Right.
The clothes that we wear is a fantasy because the stimulus check only came once. And so as a result of this, right, we're living, we're giving a presentation
all right,
that's not real.
And the amazing thing is nobody else really cares about what your fantasy, they care about themselves.
Yeah. You know, my son asked me a question. My oldest boy, he's getting ready to close on another home tomorrow or Thursday. And he said, and he said, Dad, do you think this was a good investment? And I said, it all depends. It all depends on what your vision for your life and for your future looks like. It all depends on what the exit strategy is. I said, for me, remember, I sold a house. I moved from a house like the house you're buying. And the reason why is because once I moved from that house,
right,
I took the money that I was making, that I was spending on that house and bought 6 more. Right. So it just really depends. So he said, well, how do you know that it's a right type of investment? I said, so if you're trying to live in it and you're moving into a home that already has equity, then okay, that's a pretty good investment.
Right.
You bought a home, you're moving into it, it already has equity, and it has a substantial amount of equity. That's a pretty good investment.
Right.
I said the second thing that you got to check is, can you really afford it? And I said, in a way that I would say that you should check to really afford it, there's 2 ways. There's
not
3 ways.
What the bank says you can afford.
Not what the bank says.
Because they always say you can afford.
Well, they have this thing called debt to income ratio. We're not going to talk about that right now. But that's how they measure. That's how underwriting measures whether or not you could afford the home that you're getting based on what your debt to income ratio is. And what that simply means, all of the money that's coming in on a monthly basis minus all of the money that's going out on a monthly basis is your debt to income ratio. So for the banks, they utilize numbers like 50%, this, that, and the other, and to determine if you could afford it. Well, me, I don't use that number. Right. I have 3 ways, 3 things that you can do real quick.
What are your ways?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I'm going to tell you. I got 3 things that you can do to determine the affordability of the home that you're moving into or that you're seeking to live in or even rent. What are those 3 things? Number 1 if you could take if you're coming from a 2-income household,
Okay.
and if you could get one income to take care of 100% of those household expenses, and the other income you could use to invest and vacation, because that's important.
Vacation is important.
Yeah, invest and vacation.
Yes.
Then that's one model.
Okay.
Another model, if you're a single person and you're living on your own, well, here's the key. The key is, can you live off of 60% of your take-home income and take the 40% and invest, right?
Okay.
That's another one. Another model which I gave him today is, let's say you're combined, two people moving into a home, your combined income, your all of your expenses is 30%.
Okay.
Of what your combined, or the home that you're spending is 30% of what your combined income is. So I said, so here's the deal: if both of you bring home.
Let's say we both bring home $100,000.
So
let's say the numbers.
So if you both, I was going to use a different number because 100 is big. I was going to say on a month, because most people, they everything they do is based on what they do on a monthly basis.
Okay, got it.
So I said to him,
$10,000.
I told him 12.
Okay, $12,000.
I said, so if the both of you are bringing home 12, if your combined income is $12,000, then take 30% of that. That's $3,600. Your mortgage should be $3,600 or less.
Yeah. Does that include like utilities, or that's just your mortgage?
That's your house. That's your mortgage, your tax, your utilities, that household. That doesn't include necessarily housing. Grocery. Yeah, your housing should be no more than $3,600.
Okay, I think that's a good.
Yeah,
that's good.
So that's the way that I look at it. Because listen, y'all, you should not be saying like today, and nobody knows who I'm talking about. There's an individual that borrowed.
Somebody business.
Yeah, I'm about to tell it.
Okay.
There's an individual that borrowed $150.
Okay, $150.
Right?
Okay.
They said they'll give it to me on Friday.
Okay.
Now this individual has a government type job. They say they're gonna give it to me on Friday, and then they asked for another 20.
Okay.
And then they owed another 23. So that's 193.
They asked for another 23.
Where they owed me another 23 because of something I did.
Okay.
So that's $193,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Now, they were supposed to give it to me on Friday. So what's today?
Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday. So I sent the text message. And when I sent the text message, a government job.
Okay.
Decent job. You got to have a master's degree to have this type
job.
to have this job.
Oh, to have this job. Okay.
So I said, hey, can I grab that $193 from you? And their response was, I don't have it at this exact moment, but I should have it. ...
Okay.
That's a problem. You should not want to have to live your life like that. That's because, but this guy, he ride good, look good. I mean, swag 10 times better than my hoodie joint. All of those things. Ride good, look good, smell good, bling and chain, the whole thing.
Okay.
Be out kicking it, but can't put his hands. So this is what I'm saying. And I typically don't loan money.
Okay.
You know,
you should not.
I don't loan money. And if I so all I'm saying is, no matter how much money you make, if you manage your money well, you can begin to have financial freedom. Financial freedom, watch this, is not about being rich.
What is it about?
Financial freedom is not about, living a lavish lifestyle. Financial freedom is freedom from financial burden and from financial debt.
Yes.
I am free from the burden of finances, and I am free from the debt of finances. So how do I become financially free and I'm not rich? By not allowing yourself to get in bondage when it comes to the debt by how do I become financially free and I'm not rich? By not overspending.
Yes.
By not trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm not trying to keep up with the Porters. My name Johnson. And so if she say, like, let's go have lobster, I'm gonna say, let's have J&J fish. Or if I go have lobster, if I go to the lobster restaurant,
Right.
I'm gonna order the appetizer.
No. Or you're gonna have planned for that would be a part of your spending plan. So you have lobster.
But that's all I'm saying. So which sometimes we just fear, foolishness, fantasy, and frustration keeps us stuck in financial bondage and in poverty. And we don't want you to do that no more.
No more.
Listen, cuss out the cuss words of poverty. It's getting hot in here, y'all. I got to go. I'm late for another call. This was your moment, your episode, your time with the boss up. I'm with the boss, and hopefully I'm going up as a result of it. I'm just saying. And so until next time, as always, prosper.
Yeah.
And that wraps up another empowering episode of Boss Up. Join Dan D. Johnson and Shada Moore on the next episode of Boss Up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow Dan and Shada on all social media platforms for more insights and inspiration to boss up your life. Until next time, remember to keep shining, keep grinding, and always boss up.